let's talk about the what David Zaslav did. So, Warner Brothers Discovery boss David Zaslav pulled the plug on the Ta-Nehisi Coates Black Superman movie for being too woke. Talks of a Superman movie with a black lead persisted for years. Michael B. Jordan was attached to play the Val Zod version of the character in an HBO Max TV series. If you don't know who this is, when Obama was elected president, DC decided to make Superman a version of Superman that was basically Barack Obama. He came from Krypton. He became president of the United States, and yeah, he was just basically Barack Obama as Superman. And Val Zod is different, I think, because I don't really read like modern DC stuff, but I think he's just from Krypton. So he might be like he's just from Krypton. So he's just a black guy from Krypton. So he has all Superman's powers and all that other stuff. And he's like I said, he's also from Krypton. Over the years, Superman has come from being by himself, the only survivor of Krypton. That's basically how he was created. Then they decided to give him a cousin. And so he had Supergirl. And up until I guess the mid 2010s or something like that, they decided to somehow she's more powerful than him. I don't know how that works. So they changed her character a little bit, and I'm concerned about what they're going to do in that Supergirl movie that they're going to make. And then they decided to make this guy, and that's Val Zod. So I'm glad that this stuff is starting to weed itself out. They have to get all of these things that they greenlit 2-3 years ago, and they already filmed some of this stuff. So yeah, I'll be glad when all this crap is done. So all right, so okay, Michael B. Jordan attached to play Val Zod version of the his might have been the actual was it the Barack Obama version of him. Said Ta-Nehisi Coates doesn't like white people. He's a racist. So when Henry Cavill was sidelined as the Man of Steel after he refused to return for Shazam, I don't know if that was the case. I think that had a lot to do with The Rock. So it's like a whole behind the thing. They got that's like a whole side thing. So I'm not sure that's the case. We heard the idea was for a 1930s set. See, this is what I get annoyed by when it comes to movies they make for black people. They always put it in the 30s or the 40s or whatever, so that they can keep bringing up Jim Crow, even though this stuff is like 1930 is damn near 100 years ago. You talk about stuff that happened 100 years ago. I mean, your grandparents kind of vaguely remember people talking about this when they were younger, but they keep making stuff like this. It's like, I heard Sinners was a good movie, but I'm kind of tired of movies being in that time period. There's like another one coming out. This is again same stuff. So they can bring up Jim Crow over and over again. All right. Okay, featuring a black Kal-El attempting to find his place on Earth at a time when America was embroiled in racism. Sounds like a fascinating concept. No, it doesn't. But it wasn't one that Warner Brothers Discovery CEO was a fan of. You recall he scrapped Batgirl 2/3 of the way into production as a tax write-off, earning him a reputation as being ruthless and not afraid to upset filmmakers or fans. Nobody was that interested in Batgirl. Just like no one's interested in Ironheart, which sucks. So what they were going to do with Batgirl, if I can remember correctly, was put what the hell? Damn, I hate being old. It was Michael Douglas. The guy from he was in The Flash, so he was going to be her mentor. So instead of doing Batman Beyond with him, is what they should have. They decided to go that route and kind of take some of the elements of Batman Beyond, kind of put it in a modern time period, and just make that the TV show. Which I don't know who this was going to be for, but it's probably why he wrote it off. All right. According to Wall Street Journal, shortly after taking over the studio, he decided to pull the project on Coates and Abrams' Superman movie as being too woke. We're not sure what's woke about the story of Black Man of Tomorrow. Basic in the 1930s, so you could talk about Jim Crow yet again, and full of identity politics, and have Superman being called all kind of N words and all kind of stuff. That is definition of what woke is. Yeah, yeah. Nobody would want to see that. I don't know who this would have been for. I'm not even sure why this dude is actually famous, to be honest. But he's like he's a race baiter kind of dude. So he was incorrectly to tear down anything that isn't led by a white male. I don't know who wrote this, but yeah, race changing, like you fighting over a race change, friggin' Superman is the dumbest thing possible. Because there's a guy in Marvel called the Blue Marvel that was written by the person who wrote Underworld, like the vampire movies. He created a character in Marvel called Blue Marvel. You could have put elements of that because he was born around that time period and he lived for a long time. And he pretty much is almost as powerful as Superman. So if they wanted to make an original character movie with a superhero, there are black characters. You do not have to race change characters, but they don't give a crap about none of this stuff really. And so you got people like this, whoever wrote that, who for whatever reason doesn't seem to understand that there are actually black characters. How you taking Captain America's shield and shoving it on top of the Falcon is not an improvement, is actually a regression, because he is one of the original black characters in Marvel. He did not need to be Captain America. He's a strong enough character in his own right, and everybody actually liked Anthony Mackie as him. You should have made that Captain America 4 movie about Falcon. Then you could have took all the Captain America crap out of it, made it a spy thriller or whatever it was, and it probably would have worked better. So I don't know why these people keep begging for these handouts and then getting mad when it gets taken away from them. The other interesting tidbits in the article, for example, Zaslav talks to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson about fixing the DC brand. Those talks fell through when Black Adam bombed. Yeah, because The Rock was trying to make the DC universe about him. Yeah, and that didn't go over too well. Yeah, so that's what it ended. What he says is like the bomb derailing the former pro wrestler's plans to build a DC universe around himself. Yeah, his star is kind of failing. So it was stupid of him to do that. Going back even further back, Just League crashed and burned 2017. Okay. All right, so anything I do dive in has got to be done the right way. It's got to be full of authenticity. Playing a race change characters, probably not that. Previous said in his Superman hopes, I'm a fan of the comic books. I understand the fans being upset. Oh, why are they doing this? Why are they changing that? I would feel the same way about certain things. So it's just, so just know if I were to dabble in anything, it will be authentic and sound like something like people would really support. I don't know. It's DC. You can make them static. Again, original black character. Have it's Duffyverse. He created his own black characters. They're all is it Oklahoma? Where the hell are they? I forgot exactly where they're from, but he made it in. It's called Milestone Comics. It is all black characters. It is all original. They're so good that DC bought the rights to it, brought him in, and he was the one who was pushing all the Justice League cartoons that everybody liked. Yeah, that's him. He's the reason why instead of having Hal Jordan, we got John Stewart, and he became so popular that when they made a Green Lantern movie, people couldn't figure out why the hell Green Lantern was white, because the Green Lantern that they knew was Jon Stewart. So it's like he can have did that. He might be too old to play Static, but he can play an older Static. So there is actually authentic black characters, but you do not have to do any of this nonsense when it comes to race changing characters. If they actually gave a crap about representation of black characters, but they don't. They don't really do. So all these people who said all this crap and all this begging about the black man of tomorrow, blah blah blah, miss me with that. Because then you would look into all the original black characters that have been created over the years. There are plenty of them that they can make movies about that have interesting backstories, have interesting power sets. Hell, Mr. Terrific. Apparently, Mr. Terrific is good in the Superman movie. He could do that. So just nonsense. All it does kind of pisses me off.